Hi, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started. I want to thank everybody for joining this webinar on how to open up your own home daycare. We are going to go ahead and get started in just a moment. I'm going to wait for some more people to come on, and then we're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you for joining once again. I want to introduce myself. My name is Trina Boyd. I've owned a home daycare for several years, and I want to teach you how to open up and become licensed as a home daycare as well from start to finish. So we're going to go ahead and get started. This webinar will be talking about how to own or how to open up a home daycare. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. So one of the things I want to talk about is how to increase your viewing experience. So turn off any and all devices to minimize distractions and to help minimize buffering. Also, silence your phone and close your door. Grab some coffee or tea. Get a pen and paper and relax and enjoy. So I also want to encourage everyone to stick around to the end because I have some extra special bonuses that I'm going to talk about. I'm also going to talk about some free marketing tips as well. So stick around to the end. So tell me, everyone who's on this webinar, is everybody located in the state of North Carolina? And is everybody wanting to open up a home daycare? That's very important because this webinar is only for individuals in the state of North Carolina. And if you are wanting to open up a home daycare. So even if you're considering opening up a center, I still would encourage you to stay on this call as well. But if you are wanting to open up a center, it's a different class that you would need to take if you wanted to do a center. But this is mainly for people who are wanting to open up a home daycare. So let's talk about what's stopping you from making the next step. A lot of people are not encouraged or don't have a support system. Some of you are afraid of failure, and some of you are who don't have experience and don't know where to start. So I was like you, I didn't know where to start. So the main thing I wanted to encourage you today is to just start. That's the main thing, is to just start doing something. And I'm going to get you started on today on what you can do to start to the next step of opening up your own home daycare and to defeat failure as well. That's going to talk more about the marketing techniques once you're licensed as a home daycare. So the North Carolina statistics about childcare. North Carolina childcare is among the highest in the United States. And we're talking about quality childcare here. So there is definitely money to be made in childcare in the state of North Carolina. So you're in the right place at the right time. The state of North Carolina, some facts about when you're considering the numbers, as far as the number of children you can have. You can care for 2 children at a time without having a license. So you can legally care for 2 children at a time without having a license. You can open up a summer camp without having a state license as well. So you can open up a summer camp if it's less than 90 days. You can open up a summer camp without having a state license. You can also do a preschool that operates 4 hours a day without having a license. I wouldn't suggest the preschool or any of these, only because at this particular time, I'm going to talk about some grant funding that you can get when you have your license. If you're not licensed, you're not able to take advantage of this grant funding that I'm going to talk about later on in this webinar. Once you are licensed, once you are licensed, one of the things I want to let you know that you will always start off as a 1-star. In the state of North Carolina, you start off as a 1-star. If you're a home daycare, you start off as a 1-star, even if you're a center, but you always start off as a 1-star. In the state of North Carolina, they have different star levels that you can obtain. So after 6 months, you can apply for more stars. But even if you are a 1-star, I want to make this clear and make sure you write this down. If you are a 1-star, you still can apply for state vouchers for low-income families. So remember this, and I'm going to talk more about this later on in our 3-phase system. But if you are a 1-star, you still can apply for state vouchers for low-income families. Remember this. So the question is, how many children can you care for at one time once you have a license? So this is once you have a license. You can care for, you get licensed. Once you receive your license, you'll have a license capacity of 8 children, 5 preschoolers and 3 after schoolers. So what does that mean? That means you can only care for 5 children in the daytime, and after 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock, you can add 3 extra children, which will be considered after schoolers. Most of the time, your consultant are looking at their age to see if they will be considered an after schooler or a preschooler. So it says also, so that means that you cannot care for 8 children in the daytime. So you can't have, 8 children in the daytime. You only can have 5 in a day and 3 after schoolers. So it's ways to maximize your income as a home daycare. One of the things that you can do once you're licensed is also to get licensed for night shift. There's really no extra work that you would need to do to get licensed as night shift. Just let your consultant know that you want to be licensed for night shift. Night shift is actually easier than day shift. It's less work, shall I say, because all you're doing at night is just helping the children with homework and feeding them dinner and a snack. And bedtime is usually around 8 o'clock for the children. So I would suggest, if you want to maximize your income, is to be licensed for day shift and night shift. So my story is I got licensed for home daycare. The name of it was Scholars Childcare in the state of North Carolina in Fayetteville. As you can see the picture here, you can see my Scholars Childcare hat and my Scholars Childcare shirt. I was really, really excited about opening up my my home daycare because I always wanted to work with children. I love working with children. I didn't want to work for anyone anymore, so that's when I decided to open up my own home daycare. I was like how you are now, but I didn't know where to start. So that's the main thing, is getting started, and that's what I'm going to teach you on today, is how to get started. This is pretty much my story. If you look at these 2 pictures, the left picture is just the children playing. To the right is when I transitioned over to curriculum-based childcare, and they had to wear uniforms. If you can see in the back, you will see like the desks in the back where they had little desks where they learn different things related to actually the school system. My toddlers were learning pre-K work. So this is just pretty much some pictures of my home daycare. So how did I get started? I started researching and just got started to work. I was able to get everything done within a couple of months and getting my license. I was all over the place though. Once I sat down and thought, how can I make this process easier for the next person? So after weeks of thinking about the steps that I took and putting all the steps into a workshop with 3 different phases, I came up with a 3-phase workshop system. So my profits, as soon as I opened, within a month, I was able to fill up on all of my spots. I operated and ran a home daycare successfully for years. I marketed my own business, and I was licensed for day and night shift. So when my consultant came out, I asked her I wanted to do night shift as well. Before I left Fayetteville, I started to teach classes on how to open up a home daycare. And I would just simply charge for entry into the class. I actually helped some current daycare owners in Fayetteville become licensed as a home daycare, and they are currently operating successfully. Here's one of my success stories, a mother's touch. Her name is Brooke Ali. She's actually, she has 2 home daycares now that she's operating now in the state of North Carolina. She's successful with both home daycares. I actually mentored her through the process, and that's the same thing I can do with you. I mentored her through the process of opening up both home daycares, and she's still operating right now. So the 3 phases to becoming a licensed home daycare. The first phase is really much just getting started and paperwork. It's going to be a lot of paperwork. Phase 2 is setting up your home daycare. Phase 3 is marketing your daycare and getting grants for your daycare. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that today. So what you would discover on phase 1, I will cover everything you would need to get started, who you would need to contact, the actual numbers and everything. So this is where you probably need to take notes as far as the phases and what you will need to do to get started. I want you to get started today. You can even get started right after this webinar as well. So the first thing you would need to do is call zoning in your city before you do anything. If your house is not zoned for a home daycare, you will not be able to open your home daycare in that area. This is very important. This is a very important step before you do anything, before you buy anything. Make sure your home is zoned. This is what you would do. You will simply Google zoning in your city, and their number will appear. So once you get their number, this is what you're going to say. I want to know if my address is zoned for a home daycare. And then you want to give them your address. Once you give them your address, they're going to pull your address up in their system, and then they're going to look it up and let you know if your address is zoned for a home daycare. They'll either email you a confirmation letter or they'll let you know right then and there. You can also go up to the zoning office to get this information. Your local zoning office. Every city has one. So order is very important in how you do things. And I'm going to teach everything in the correct order and where you can become a licensed home daycare in order to get licensed within the shortest amount of time. So if you were like me, I was very anxious to get started. So throughout the phase system, I would teach you step by step in the correct order on how to become licensed, a licensed home daycare. Phase 2 is pretty much talking about setting up your daycare. It is certain areas that you would need that is mandatory once your state consultant comes out to view your home daycare. When I first got started, I didn't have like a big budget to get started. So I think I had like maybe $3,000 to get started. And what I did was I didn't shop for any new things. Only thing new I got was cots. As far as the toys, you can actually go to a thrift store, your local thrift store, and look and shop for toys there. That way you can save money. I'm going to talk very in detail about how you can do that as well in the 3-phase system. I'm going to talk about the different areas that you're going to need to have set up in your actual home daycare once your consultant comes out. Setting up your daycare. One of the areas that you want to need to set up your daycare is arts and crafts. Arts and crafts will need to be age appropriate for the age group of children that you'll be caring for. So with that being said, if you're going to be caring for toddlers, if you're going to be caring for school agers, after schoolers, just make sure the equipment is age appropriate. But this is one of the areas that you would need to be set up for, or one of your stations would need to be arts and crafts. Also in phase 2, I go over the equipment needed as far as the different stations as well, and the different age appropriate equipment that you would need. I will actually send you over a list of some ideas. I will talk about some ideas that you would need for age appropriate equipment. I will also go over how to set up your outdoor play area as well. All of this will be included in phase 2 of the 3-phase system. Also, do not buy a fence just yet. I'm going to talk about that later on in my 3-phase system. Don't buy a fence just yet for your home. Phase 3 is pretty much marketing your daycare. You can even use the free marketing tip that I'm going to talk about later. You can use that now. But marketing is very essential to your business even before you even become licensed. You can start enrolling children before you become licensed. You can put them on a wait list, especially if you have an anticipated start date or open date, grand opening date. You can go ahead and start enrolling children and just let the parents know what day you'll be opening. In the state of North Carolina, like I said, you can legally take care of 2 children without having a license. So just keep that in mind. I've been doing online marketing, face-to-face marketing for years. So once I was licensed, I made a goal to become full on night shift because I was already full on my day shift. I wanted to become full on my night shift within 3 months of being licensed. It was a challenge, but I did it. In my 3-phase system, I will discuss my marketing techniques that I used to become full on night shift. One of the free marketing tips that I'm going to give you on today is email marketing. Email marketing is a great way to keep your current customers and future customers engaged. Email marketing is very productive and easy to market your daycare business. So I'm going to go over the things that you would need to get started for email marketing. The first thing you would need, you want to have an email account where you can automatically send out emails to your existing customers and new customers. And I'm not talking about Gmail. I'm not talking about Yahoo. I'm talking about a professional email that you can set up and automatically send out emails. The software that I use is a free software that you can use. I use it. A lot of successful businesses use it. The website is MailChimp. So I'm going to go to that website and show you how to get started there in just a moment. So the website is www.mailchimp.com. So this is how the website looks for your email marketing. You can get a free account for MailChimp. So you want to click on sign up free. And then that's when you're going to enter in your email address, and then you're going to do a username and then a password. So once you do that, you want to click on get started. And it's going to guide you through the different steps on how to set up your business, like the name, the address, the numbers, the website. It's going to ask you all of that information, but this is how it looks. This is MailChimp. This is how you get started with your MailChimp account. In my 3-phase system, I am going to go over the different automations that you can use. I am also going to go over different templates, how you can save your templates, and that kind of thing with MailChimp. So I just showed you how to get started. You would create an account and go from there with getting started. In my 3-phase system, also in phase 3, I would teach you how to receive monthly food checks from the state. One of the requirements is food guidelines. And sometimes these checks can go all the way up to monthly checks of $2,000 or more on your monthly checks for the food program. You do have guidelines, though, that you have to follow. One of the guidelines, or these are the guidelines for the actual menu. Breakfast, you have to have a fruit or vegetable, a starch like bread, bagel, and skim milk. So those are the 3 food categories that you would have to be in for breakfast. For lunch, you would have to provide a protein like, a meat, vegetables, fruit, starch. Starch would be like bread or bagel, and skim milk. So those are the components that you would need for lunch. And for a snack, you would do 2 snacks. You would do one in the morning and one in the evening. It can be cookies or crackers, and you can do juice or you can do skim milk. If you're going to get licensed for night shift, you would be going off of the lunch guideline, which is a protein like maybe meat, vegetables, fruit, starch, and skim milk. A sample menu for the actual lunch and the actual dinner menu. Spaghetti and meatballs would cover the protein and the starch and a vegetable. The actual sauce is considered, the sauce would be considered, because it's a tomato sauce, it would be considered a vegetable. And then the starch would be the noodles, and then the actual meatballs would be the protein. So the only thing that you would have to provide with that would be a fruit, maybe peaches, and then skim milk. That would be an easy menu option for you. And I go over different menu options as well in phase 3. I go over scheduling as well. The 3-phase system is a very detailed system that will guide you through the process of becoming a licensed home daycare. There are 2 systems that is available to you. I have the live online workshop that is 4 weeks long. That's once a week. And we also go over all the phases and details, and you can ask questions. This is on the live. This will be a live online workshop. Phase 1, I will include all the paperwork to get started, the correct order, because that's very important when you're becoming licensed, the order and how you do things, because certain things takes much longer than the next one. So this is very, very important to remember. The correct order that you will do things to become licensed in the shortest amount of time. I will give you all the people that you will need to contact in the licensing process. So most people don't know who to contact or anything, so I give you all of that. Phase 1, I also include my special bonus, which is a private access to our Facebook page, where I come on once a week, and you're able to ask any questions that you may have while you're in that phase. You must be a member to join our private Facebook page, or you must have been on one of our workshops or have purchased one of our actual pre-recorded workshops. So phase 1, like I said, is like the longest phase. Phase 1 includes step-by-step instructions on how to correctly do your state paperwork required. I will give you numbers to call in order to obtain your paperwork for your background check. I will go over zoning. I will go over licensing requirements for your city, because each city has different requirements. I will go over the different inspections that you will be required to open, that will be required to open your home daycare. I will go over your credentials needed to become a licensed home daycare. This is all in phase 1. All this is very important. One of the things I am going to do in phase 1 is, and my goal for you is to become a licensed home daycare in the shortest amount of time. That's my goal. I want you to be able to, when your state consultant schedule that meeting with you, I want you to get your license the first go round. When I first opened my home daycare and scheduled my appointment, I got licensed the first go round. She didn't have to come back. I didn't have to correct anything. Everything was done her first time, her coming to my home to get licensed. So that's what my goal for you. I want you to be able to have everything that you needed posted onto your wall. I want you to have all of your stuff into your binder correctly. And I'm going to be your personal coach, mentor, to help you get through the licensing process. Phase 2 includes setting up your home daycare. I will go into detail on the different stations that you will need to become licensed. I will give you policies and procedures needed to show your consultant, because you do have to have policies and procedures. I will actually give you a copy of my policy and procedures that I have, and you can follow the guidelines for that. One of the things that you would need is, in your policies and procedures, you would need your hours of operation. And then you will also need your pricing information. That's only a couple of things, but in the 3-phase system, I will go into great detail on everything that you would need to have in your policies and procedures, because your state consultant, she's going to be looking for that when she goes through your policies and procedures. I will also go through sample schedules that you can use to operate your home daycare. I will give you those, and all the posters needed to be posted when your consultant arrives. So one of the things the state requires is certain things have to be posted where visible, where your parents can see on your actual in your actual home when they first walk in. So I'm going to go into detail, let you know the different things that needs to be posted when your consultant comes in. Okay. So phase 2, I will go over everything you would need to be included into your binder that you would need to show your consultant. It's different things that needs to be in a binder that you can just, give it to her when she comes in. This will also help you with organization as well. So once you are licensed, if your consultant comes, you can just handle your binder and continue, teaching or whatever you're doing at your daycare. Phase 3, I will go over different grants that the state offer you once you license. I will go over the different programs at the state, the different grants as well that they offer once you are a licensed home daycare. I will also include marketing tips that works. I will go over Facebook marketing. I will go over online marketing. I will go over email marketing. I will go over direct marketing on how to market with flyers. I will go over how to market with your business cards. And I will also go over how to target a specific audience as well. Marketing alone is very, very essential to your business. And I have a lot of marketing experience, success with marketing in all of these categories. So I can definitely help you with marketing your daycare. So this is in phase 3. So once you choose which course, I have a live course or a pre-recorded course. You'll have unlimited access to this course for a lifetime. Now I know you're wondering how much this course costs. So the first thing I'm going to do is just go over the live course value. The live course value is valued at $55,600. The pre-recorded course values at $2,500. But you can get the live workshop investment for today of only $400. The live course workshop I would suggest only because I'm there, I'm live. You can ask me questions, any questions that you may have. You can do 2 payments. You can do $200 before the course starts, and then you can do the second payment the second week, due at the beginning of the second week, going into the second week. But I would definitely suggest the live online course because I'm there live. I can answer any questions that you may have. The pre-recorded course, the investment is only $87 per phase. Remember, there's 3 phases. You have phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. So this is really pretty much for people who are busy, people who work, and they just need to get the information when they are available. The pre-recorded package is $87 per phase investment. You can get started today. It's self-paced, so you can pay as you go. So if you complete phase 1, the 1 week or 1 day, you can go in and purchase the second phase for $87, and then the third phase for $87, or you can pay all of it at once. But you'll have access to our bonus, which is exclusive access to our private page, our private Facebook page. And remember, you will have these courses for a lifetime, unlimited access to these courses for a lifetime. Just remember that. So you'll have unlimited access to these courses. In order to purchase the course, you will have to go to our website, which is www.womenempowerinc.com. That's www.women and then INPOWERINC.com. Then you would click on future daycare owners, and you would choose the package that you desire. So we're just going to do that really fast. 1 second. So this is how the website looks. And you have your own tab, which is future daycare owner. And then you can click on whichever one you want, the live online workshop or the pre-recorded workshop, whichever one that you would like. So like I said, you get the bonus included. Once you enroll, you will be able to join me every week on a private Facebook page. Everybody can't be on that page, but if you are a member, or if you have purchased one of the workshops or the systems, you are able to join me. I'm on there once a week. I'm there to answer any questions that you may have. So I want to take any questions that you may have at this particular point. So if you all have any questions, you can ask questions. So one of the questions is, do you have to have transportation? So as far as having transportation, you don't have to have transportation unless you're going to be doing, if you're going to be doing the after schoolers, you don't have to have transportation. But if you are going to be picking up children, I would suggest to have transportation. One of the issues that I ran into was when I started to do after schoolers, I ran into the issue of I would need someone at the home while I'm picking up the other children, especially if you have children of your own and they don't ride the bus. Definitely, you would have to have transportation for that. But I ran into the issue of the children. Normally, around the time when it's time to pick up the children for after school, the other children are still asleep. So you definitely would have to hire somebody to be there for a couple of hours just to be there with the children while you are picking the other children up from school. It don't have to be a van or anything like that. It can be, a regular car, as long as the children can fit in there. So yeah, you don't have to have it, but if you want to be picking up after school, definitely. So another question is, can I let people visit the daycare during operation hours? You definitely can let them visit. One of the things, if you're going to be doing a tour, I would wait until the children are actually asleep, because you don't want to be trying to show a tour and your attention are not on the children. So definitely just make sure that during nap time is normally when I was doing tours, or even after 5 o'clock, because that's normally when parents get off. So I'll schedule an open house at 6, or Saturdays is a great time to do tours of your daycare, your home daycare. So any other questions that I can maybe answer? I'm going to take 1 or 2 more questions. Any more questions? So another question is, what would be the curriculum or style? You don't have to have a curriculum in a home daycare, but if you do decide to do one, you can. It's not required. What I did was I used the curriculum for the Cumberland County website for the actual school for my after schoolers and my school agers who were 4 and older. My toddlers, as you know, the state of North Carolina, they have a pre-K program, but they have a sheet that your pre-K have to pass in order to go to kindergarten. So I pulled that sheet and I gave that, or I actually taught my toddlers off of that. So they were knowing pre-K, information before even going to pre-K. So they were able to easily, be able to pass that test to go to kindergarten. I was really big on curriculum. I hope you will be too, because it's very important to, be able to teach them while they're in your care for so long. So any other questions that you all may have? Any other questions? I'm going to take one more question. Okay, so another question is, what are the market rates? The market rates go off of your star level, and it goes off your area as well. So it just depends on your star level, but you can charge, depending on what city you're in, like in Charlotte or Fayetteville. In Charlotte, the market rate depends on the ages as well. So it depends on that. I'm going to go into a lot of detail about in my 3-phase system about market rates, what to charge, and that kind of thing. So I'm going to go ahead and end this this webinar. Like I said, I encourage you to take the first step. You can go ahead and start today. You can start and go to call zoning to see if you're even zoned. That's the first step to open up your home daycare. You can start today. Start with doing that just to see if you can even open where you're at right now. The website again is www.womenempowerinc.com. www.womenempowerinc.com. And I want to thank you all for watching this webinar. And if you have any questions, feel free. If you're on my Facebook, you can message me on Facebook. But like I said, once you are, purchasing one of the systems, I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have pertaining to the different phases. And I want to thank you all for watching. And you all have a great rest of your day.